Hello my dear friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joy and today in this lecture we will discuss about the anti-sikh riot case judgment. First of all, let us understand what is the current affair that is associated with the anti-sikh riot case. So recently the Delhi High Court has reversed the acquittal charges by the trial court on the 1984 anti-sikh riot convict. So the trial court means the court that has taken up the trial of the anti-sikh riot which was in the year 1984. So the trial court had actually acquitted one accused. We will come to the details of it later in this lecture. So understanding the current affairs, one accused was acquitted by the trial court, that is the court at which the trial was held. But recently the Delhi High Court reversed this. That means the person who had got the acquittal, now he is convicted. Convicted means the court sentenced some punishment for the person. So this is the current affair and we will analyze this issue in detail in this lecture. Now let us see what is the case. Let us understand what is the anti-sikh riot case. Briefly speaking, the 1984 anti-sikh riots, also known as the 1984 Sikh massacre, it is a series of organized riots against the Sikhs in India. And this was held by anti-Sikh mobs. So it was basically against the Sikh community in India, which was held by anti-Sikh mobs. And this was as a response to the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So these riots were as a result of the assassination of Indira Gandhi by her bodyguards. And these bodyguards of Indira Gandhi were Sikhs. That means they belong to Sikh community. So a protest or a riot was organized by anti-Sikh community or anti-Sikh mobs towards the Sikh community. So this is in brief the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. And as a result, number of people were killed and also it led to the burning down of a Gurudwara. This Gurudwara was in Rajnagar area, which is southwest Delhi. And as we said, this happened at the backdrop of a riot that broke out following the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and she was killed on 31st of October and the riot broke out on 1st and 2nd of November 1984. And thousands of people were killed during the riots and 6 people were accused. And among the 6 accused, one was Mr. Sajjan Kumar. He was a member of parliament at that time. And following this, the case was charge sheeted and the trial was initiated in the lower court. And later on, after the trial, the lower court had convicted 5 out of the 6 accused. So out of the 6 accused, 5 were convicted. That means they were sentenced punishments. And one accused was acquitted and he was Sajjan Kumar. So one person was acquitted, that means court did not find him guilty and he was not given any punishment by the court. So in his case, that is in Sajjan Kumar's case, what happened? The trial court rejected the testimony of an eyewitness against him. And following that, Mr. Sajjan Kumar was acquitted by the lower court. And then finally, later on what happened? The case was appealed by the CBI, the riot victims and the convicts. And they challenged the order of the lower court. So the lower court had actually acquitted Mr. Sajjan Kumar. So CBI and riot victims challenged the order of the lower court. And now what has happened? The Delhi High Court has reversed the acquittal and sentenced Mr. Kumar to imprisonment for the remainder of his life. That means now the lower court had earlier given him the acquittal and now the Delhi High Court has reversed it. That means Delhi High Court has sentenced the lifetime imprisonment for Mr. Sajjan Kumar. And the Delhi High Court accused Mr. Sajjan Kumar for promoting enmity and for acts against communal harmony. So he actually involved in the riot and this led to destruction of communal harmony. And the Delhi High Court also observed that these riots were a crime against the humanity. So this is the case regarding 1984 anti-Sikh riot. Now what are the concerns associated with the judgment of the Delhi High Court? The first concern is regarding the slowness of the judicial processes in India. Remember, this anti-Sikh riot was in the year 1984 and it is in 2018 that a person who was involved in this riot is convicted by a court of the land. Now what makes it significant here regarding the flaws in Indian judiciary is that the slowness of conducting the judicial processes. For example, the trial. Now, in this case, we see that an offender has got punishment after several years. But there are other cases as well which is pending with the Indian judiciary where innocent people would be convicted by the lower courts and they are waiting for their trial in the upper courts. So, they are denied the access to speedy justice. So the slowness of the judicial process is definitely a cause of concern. And along with this is the pendency. When the courts in India are unable to settle one case within a stipulated period of time, it leads to pendency and backlog in the Indian judiciary. As a result of this, justice is delayed, and delayed justice is equal to justice that is denied. So this is one major cause of concern. Now, second one is the derailed investigations. This sentence of Delhi High Court in order to convict the sixth accused in the riots leads us to the conclusion that the investigating agency or the police has failed to carry out a genuine investigation, and this was highlighted by the Delhi High Court as well, which was the Delhi High Court said that the police who were responsible for the initial investigations, they failed to carry out a genuine investigation. The police actually failed to examine some important or key witnesses, and the investigation made a significant progress only after it was transferred to the CBI or the Central Bureau of Investigation. And transfer of this case from local police to the CBI was based on the recommendation of Nanavati Commission. Now, what is the way ahead in order to address this important concerns? In this case, we have seen that the Delhi High Court has heard the testimonies of fearless and truthful witnesses, or the High Court cross-examined the witnesses again and proceeded the case according to the testimony of the witnesses. And the Delhi High Court made it sure that substantial justice is reignited. So from this judgment, the court has made it clear that the political patronage or administrative complicity or the use of money and muscle power cannot prevail over truth or prevail over justice or the Indian judicial system. But the court also highlighted that there is a need for a separate law for the punishment of crimes against humanity and genocide. Now, the anti-sikh riot is a case of humanity, or now the anti-sikh riot is a case against humanity because the accused tried to promote enmity within different communities, and this had impacted the communal harmony existing in the society. So it is definitely a case where humanity is involved, and the Delhi High Court in this backdrop suggested that there should be a separate law for the punishment of crimes against humanity and genocide. So this is the solution that the legislature should take up. It is not only this case but also considering various other communal riots or communal disturbances that are taking place in the country. The legislature, which is the supreme law-making body in the country, should come up with a proper legislation that will address the issue. India is a democracy, and in Indian democracy, judiciary plays a very important and very significant role. But if the judiciary has to function properly, it must be aided by other bodies as well. For example, the police force. So there is a reform that is needed not only in the judiciary with regard to backlog or pendency or slowness in judicial processes, but also other bodies like the police who conducts the investigation, the legislature, which is the lawmaking body that should come up with new and better laws to address the demands of the time. So these all bodies needs to be reformed. And as the High Court of Delhi suggested, there should be a separate law which will deal with the crimes against humanity and genocide. You can find the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page, and for any queries regarding your UPSC preparations, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, or you can email me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com. Thank you. I wish you all a very good day.